It was the fastest 55 seconds of my life.
God.
That just vanished. Okay,
Okay, finally gotten onto the stream. Hello everyone, I'm Michael Clary, aka Astounding Beyond Belief, and we are going to be recapping the onslaught of Kaiju news that has happened since last Sunday.
Yes, I'm the king of the monsters, and I was here for the last live stream, and I'm happy to be back again.
I'm Humble Squid. I was here in the last stream too.
I'm Cooper. I was here in the last stream as well, and I was technically in the last video as the narrator as well.
We have a limited number of people who are willing to talk live.
Yes.
So, I have thrown together a PowerPoint like some sort of high school student in an attempt to encompass all that has happened. Shall we start it?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
There we go. Okay. Should I just keep going?
I don't know how this
I
is
mean,
gonna
unless we
run.
want to talk about individual stuff going on.
Thanks to the person that already disliked the live stream. Good job.
Literally just joined and downvoted already. Wonderful.
So we spent like a long time talking about Godzilla versus Kong. Do we have anything new to say about it?
I guess what we know is it's been moved again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except this time it's only a few days, so it's nothing really too serious.
I would like to publicly apologize to all the New Mutants fans I made fun of for how many times their movie got moved.
That movie has fans.
Well,
I think at this point both Godzilla vs. Kong and Wonder Woman 1984 broke that record.
God.
Is it a record? I would not be shocked. Since we did our block from
hold
YouTube
on.
from showing the trailer, review of the trailer. Oh,
Guys, they can't hear us.
Oh, are we mute?
We're muted, apparently.
I mean, I heard audio like when I loaded the page.
No, I turned up the audio. I can hear you.
Okay, audio's back, the chat's saying. Alright.
Oh, okay.
oh, don't know what happened. Okay.
All right.
Wonderful. I can't believe we'll have to do re-records for a live stream.
For some reason, people in chat are saying Team Gorath's Snyder Cut. I want to know what happened.
Oh yeah.
And Team Maguma also.
The Snyder Cut of Gorath is just the Japanese version.
God.
Oh yes, something else that isn't mentioned here, we do potentially have names for the bat-like monsters that are seen descending towards Kong. They are now known as Hellhawks.
Yep.
Or Hackhawks in the TV edit.
Yes.
Oh, the other thing I want to mention before we move on is that Thank you. Is that the response to this trailer has been somewhat overwhelming. There've really been no blockbusters in a bit, Wonder Woman 1984 excluded, so I guess I'm not surprised. At the same time, it's kind of amazing to see so many people excited about Godzilla fighting King Kong again.
It's been 50 years.
More than 50 years.
God.
Someone is asking why the monsters and the bats in the trailer are called Hellhawks, even though there's already a bat monster called Camazotz. There's also another bat monster called Psychovulture. The Monsterverse just really likes bats, I guess.
They're cool. Bats are good. One day we'll get the lava bat from Godzilla Reborn.
But yeah, for all the people saying Team Maguma, I'm totally behind you. I don't really know why you're saying it, but yeah, he's like the best kaiju ever, and he needs to be in the movie.
It's to bully Chaitano, I assume.
Oh, probably. He deserves it for hating on Maguma.
There's a small movement of Team Gabra happening.
Well, we're about to talk about a monster whose name is almost Gabara.
Yes.
Anyway, the release of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer opened the floodgates for toys pertaining to this movie. Getting the most attention were the SH Monster Arts figures of Godzilla and Kong. Kong might be the first one I ever buy. He's got his faces, he's got multiple sets of hands. It's fairly impressive for what they're charging.
Yeah, I don't buy SH Monster Arts, and I won't buy these either, but because I can't afford to start. But yeah, the Kong looks amazing. It definitely caught my eye, and I'm impressed with how much it comes with and how well sculpted it is for the price.
Yeah, I stopped buying SH Monster Arts when I had to rent an apartment.
On the off chance I might be able to import something with the ridiculously high prices and scalpers galore, it may be something I might acquire in the future, but who knows.
And also, Funko Fest is ongoing. Actually, I think it ended 2 days ago. And they officially revealed apparently all of their Godzilla and Kong figures. I'm sure a few more variants will trickle out. And predictably, a picture of Mechagodzilla leaked online. It's low quality, so it's hard to know what to make of it. It's also hard to know what to make of it because it has googly eyes. But we'll show that on the next slides, so avert your eyes if you're squeamish. Oh, there it is. I wasn't done with that slide, by the way.
If they don't release the Behemoth figure, I'm suing for emotional damages.
Yeah, those 2 figures on the bottom. Oh no, we're backtracking. Okay, this is not Godzilla vs. Kong related, but Super 7 made official that it has the Godzilla license. If you've seen their figures in stores, it's probably the Reaction line, which is modeled after 80s, 70s action figures. They have that look to them. They have 5 points of articulation. I'm not sure what that's going to look like with regards to Godzilla because of the tail to consider, but I am holding out hope that we could actually get some human figures. They said, I believe it was a live stream or on Instagram, that they can produce toys of any kaiju besides the Toho Kong and Mechani Kong. Any Toho Kaiju, I should say. So that is something to look forward to for sure.
That's only Toho that can do that.
Stupid Toho again with being afraid of their Kong and Mechanic Kong.
Does Turner Entertainment even exist anymore?
It's owned by Warner Brothers. So, yeah. And I don't think that they'd be trying to extort money from Toho anymore. But you never know. Toho doesn't seem to have learned their lesson.
Oh yes, also, you'll see a picture of this guy on the next slide. NECA revealed a Walmart exclusive King Kong variant. It's meant to look like his depiction on the cover of issue 108 of Famous Monsters of Filmland, which everyone was clamming for, but it just looks like he's the Joker.
Yes. Kong lives in a society.
I'm the Joker, baby.
There it is.
Yep.
Why does
I have
the
to
Kong
say,
in the bottom right look like it's his turn to play the Xbox?
It is.
That is one of the several news items we have from today, the Bandai Movie Monster Series Kong. So it is a vinyl. First Kong they've made in an incredibly long time, the 90s, I believe.
Yeah, the last Kong Bandai made was part of the original Bandai Godzilla collection, and you're right, I think it was 93, I want to say. And that figure's funny because it credits Turner Entertainment for the character. On the bottom of the figure, it says King Kong, copyright Turner Entertainment.
God, copyright's a sin.
It really is.
Especially with Kong. But yeah, you can see the Joker Kong. Some nice pictures of it. I'm usually all in on the variants, but aside from that one being really funny, I don't think I'm going to bite on it.
And they really should have committed to the whole figure.
Yeah, I agree.
But oh well. Anyway, you can also see the deeply disturbing Mechagodzilla that Funko is producing.
I like that he has grabby hands.
And his
Oh my god!
His dead eyes staring straight through your soul.
This meme courtesy of Golden, who could not be here tonight because he put off his homework and needs to do it now.
Do your homework, kids.
This Mechagodzilla, I can't imagine it's going to look exactly like this in the movie. This feels like Funko saying, oh, you think pure black eyes on cute-looking toys are creepy? And accepting the challenge, so to speak. It also, the top of its head also looks like you can stick Legos on top of it. I'm gonna have to try that.
It looks like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Basically. And it's appropriate because I think Funko also leaked some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff through their pops.
Yeah.
Now, the figures on the bottom left are ever interesting. That's Behemoth and a Hellhawk. These have not truly been sighted in stores yet. They just popped up on eBay a few days ago from a seller in Hong Kong.
Scalping them to high hell.
Yeah, they're labeled as unreleased, but I don't really trust that because these are Dollar Tree caliber figures and they're being sold for $80. I think that person is just trying to make a sale.
Don't unreleased figures normally not be like in a package?
They should.
Yeah, there's that too.
I mean, unless the alternative is they're like proof of concept, but then you'd expect them being sold ridiculously expensive as well.
Yeah,
I think you mean proof of concept.
Like me, who's endlessly hunted for the Trendmasters Godzilla the series figures. I know there's no box for them.
Yeah, I certainly hope we see these soon. More for Behemoth than the rather generic-looking Hellhawk.
Yeah, I would kill to have Behemoth. Like, no joke.
Right now, the Behemoth in my Monsterverse display is just represented by a regular woolly mammoth figure.
YMSF did make that, didn't they?
They did, but it's going to... The regular price for that is going to be about as much as the scalped Behemoth.
God.
Yeah.
But I am liking the Movie Monster Series Kong. It looks like a really good sculpt. Only thing is I'm probably not going to be purchasing it because I already have the Playmates and they're good enough for me.
Yeah, it's redundant. I think the sculpt for the Bandai is a little better, but no articulation. Well, less articulation and no axe.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting
The
for a
Playmates.
6-inch scale Skullcrawler, because the Skullcrawler I have is like small.
Yeah, I'd like to see if Bandai does any other figures for the movie. That would be nice. Not expecting it. Probably a Godzilla.
Yeah, they might slightly repaint the one from 2019.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. Though I question how they'd repaint it because it's got blue spines, I think, and the whole gimmick with the Godzilla vs. Kong repaints is they all have blue spines.
Just give them regular spines.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll move a million units. All right, I think we're ready for the next one.
Let's roll.
Ah, there we are. Okay. So no sooner had we recovered from the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer than a less than 1 minute teaser for Shin Ultraman hit the internet.
And in line with the recent developments in the rest of the series, we are getting a monster returning after a very long absence, Gabora. So yeah, and of course,
who came? Yes, Gabora came before Gabara, so it's really Gabara ripping his name off.
Yes.
And yes, as people are pointing out in the chat, both of these monsters in the original Ultraman were modified Baragon suits.
Which, if you put the pieces together, clearly means there's going to be a Shin Godzilla sequel with Baragon in it.
Oh, please don't. They'll take it seriously.
So who do we think the big bad of Shin Ultraman is going to be? Because I've heard Bolton, Gamora, Red King.
I'd like Zet.
Yeah. I should mention, this trailer does not have any dialogue, much as the Shin Godzilla trailers did, but the tagline on one of the posters is something spoken by Ultraman's boss, Zoffy, in the final episode. So that could maybe hint towards his final opponent, Zeton, being in this movie.
What if we get Shin Spirits?
I think it's fair to say that we may very well be getting more monsters, or maybe even a few aliens in this film. So I would say keep your minds open. Possibly Bolton, possibly Gamora. I reckon we're going to go for some famous faces here, because though Naronga is a fairly well-known monster, Gabora isn't quite that way, so we may be getting a few more well-known ones as well.
Yeah, Gabora hasn't appeared in a show since the American Ultraman back in 1993, I think.
Isn't there like a few more that are modified Baragons that might just be like fodder they can use?
Yeah, these were not the only Baragon derivatives in the early Ultra series.
Yeah, so we could get a bunch. Maybe they'll all be in this movie, and they'll all just be like...
In some ways, the CGI does look a bit wonky here. You can kind of see how the monsters almost look a bit like they're just action figures. You've got that sort of plastic texture to it. But I think that we're probably going to see an improvement in the final product. Ultraman himself looks pretty stunning, though, and if you've seen the original painting that his design is based on here, it's a very faithful translation.
Yeah, the CG, I think Shin Godzilla's benefited from the direction they took it, that they literally wanted him to look like a rubber, and somehow that looked just photorealistic for the most part. So I think that the monster designs don't lend themselves to CG quite as well as Shin Godzilla's, but I think the CG is passable for this being a Japanese film and what the budget likely is.
It's also, they also probably didn't have as much money.
Yeah. I don't think this cost as much as a Godzilla project.
Didn't I hear these guys were getting figures too?
Oh yeah, that's coming on the next slide. But Bandai very nicely released these very clear images of Naronga in Gabora, and as you can see, well, go back. Oh, the stream delay.
Oh yeah, just saw like a whole bunch of posts just show up there on the side while I got confused.
Someone said Shin Kong.
I meant go back to the CG model slide.
Shin King Kong is just the 70s movie. Enjoy what you have.
Anyway, so the striking thing about these monsters is, aside from the back drill and back spikes and the head, the bodies and limbs are extremely similar. Anno, being the nerd he is, it seems like he's actually trying to make them related to each other, taking the fact that they were originally built from the same Baragon costume into canon.
Which has led to an interesting theory floating around that Gabora is actually going to be modified from Neronga in some way, which, you know, it's too early to say, but that could be an interesting point, if that is how it's going to be.
Yeah, I like Neronga and Gabora being chosen for this movie. I've seen the original. I still need to marathon the whole Ultra series, but I've seen the original series, so I am familiar with these two kaiju.
They certainly didn't give Ultraman much of a challenge in the original show, which is certainly one of the reasons I think this trailer, or teaser rather, did not lay all of the film's cards on the table.
Right. Which
Anyway,
I have to say...
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
These are the Bandai figures that have been revealed so far. There's all of these are movie monster series, except the Ultraman on the far left, who has a bit more articulation on him.
That's probably a Big Arts one, right?
It's a different line. Let me double check what the name is. Oh, it's called Ultra Action Figure. Well, that suits it. Okay, next slide.
Oh, someone asked, has anyone seen the Big Bad Toy Store listing for a Manila figure? That is not for Godzilla vs. Kong. That is for the Godzibon line. They're finally doing the 3 Godzilla brothers from that show: Godzilla, Kun, Manila, and Little. So that's not from Godzilla vs. Kong. It's going to probably be stylized like the puppet show. But yeah, that's the answer to that question.
They should just sell the actual puppets.
I personally cannot wait to see how they're going to turn puppets into vinyl figures.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Alright, so here we go. It turns out the Monsterverse is getting another entry too. In particular, we are getting an anime set on Skull Island.
This is an anime set on Skull Island.
Another place titled Skull Island as well.
So, do you guys remember the when like Skull Island first came out and like there was supposed to be like a Kong TV show in development from the people who did the Bye Bye Man?
Yes,
I certainly do.
Called King Kong Skull Island, no less.
There's one thing we can call a King Kong series. It's only one thing.
Yeah.
Skull Island.
It would be hilarious if you look at the development of the anime and then you see like the producer of the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man is involved.
No confirmation of that, thankfully. KeyJX just asked us who our favorite Ultraman or monsters in the Ultraman universe are. For me, it is easily Dinosaur Tank.
I think by default it's Dinosaur Tank, but after
no explanation necessary.
No,
I like my controversial opinion is like of like the 4 like smart ones that talk. Yapul's my favorite. I just like his design. I think he's neat.
If I have an absolute favorite, it's Bolton. If it's a main antagonist, yeah, Yarpul, same here. But my most favorite recent introduction to the series would probably be Destrudos. It's just cool to get a new Chimera monster after all these years. So, yeah.
Mine's probably Alien Mephilos. I like him a lot, so yeah, that would be my favorite.
Also, I like Jiris, but I didn't say him just because that's like being like, I like Godzilla. So... Okay, I want to talk about this one because I love Cloverfield so much.
But first, Titania was literally screaming at us in Discord to remind people that the studio behind Skull Island is also responsible for Castlevania.
Yeah.
So Netflix is already labeling Skull Island an anime, which makes absolutely no sense, but it could very well look like an anime at least.
Yep. Have not seen the Castlevania show, but I've heard it's good, so
it's very good.
Likewise.
So, okay.
So Cloverfield, a movie I saw 15 times in theaters when it first came out.
Dear God.
Has announced a direct sequel. So it's not like Paradox or 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I'll explain how they work as sequels, because I'm sure like all of 3 people in the chat actually sat through Paradox for the explanation.
There was an explanation?
You gotta look for it. It's very hard. But yeah, all we know about it is that the person writing it is Joe Barton, who's known for The Ritual, and he's developing the Batman series that's going to be coming out in HBO Max in 2022. Matt Reeves, the original director, is not involved, but J.J. Abrams is producing, but he produces everything that comes out now, so that doesn't matter. And the Bad Robot head, Hannah Minghella, is producing. So this is a direct sequel, so it's directly to the original. So it's supposed to probably follow the events of 2008. Oh, also it's not found footage at all. That's an important part.
That always works out well for found footage franchises.
I'm thinking about Blair Witch 2 right now, but I'm going to try not to think about it too much.
I'm thinking about Rack.
I'm thinking about VHS, when VHS 3 just decided to completely abandon the whole point of why it's called VHS.
All of the movies are viewed through 4K Blu-ray.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through just relevant lore because there's so much Cloverfield stuff, and I spent all night doing notes. So the most important thing since Paradox is that the main connecting tissue for all the Cloverfield movies is that they're all part of like a multiverse. So being that this is a direct sequel, it'll be set in the 2008 universe. But 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Paradox are still in their own universes. Again, the big things in each of those universes are the oil company Tagruato and its subsidiary Slusho. It's also important to note that the monster in the 2008 movie is stated to be an infant of its species in like multiple interviews. So the implication is that when the multiverse stuff started breaking, which is because it's the action for what causes each movie, that the monster from the Cloverfield monster is from the 2008 universe, and the big one that shows up in Paradox is one of its parents.
I am personally hoping they ignore Paradox because it wasn't very good, and the explanation for how these movies are connected was fairly lame. I'm also stuck on you saying 2008 universe, implying a universe where it is always 2008, in which by extension I am always in middle school. I can't imagine a more terrifying fate.
God. Yeah. So this other things that I'm expecting from this is, so Baby Clover from the first movie is still alive because the audio at the end of the first movie. If you play it backwards, it clearly says it's still alive. The only human survivor that's confirmed from that movie is Lily, and her actress, Jessica Lucas, could probably return. She's frequently acting. She was in the 2013 Evil Dead remake and was in 67 episodes of Gotham. So I can imagine them getting her back. The actor who played Rob, Michael Stahl-David, appeared in 2019. He appeared in a fan film called The Cloverfield Files, where it shows that he survived the attack in New York and became vice president of Tagruato. Obviously not canon, but that says he probably wants to come back. So I don't think any people from 10 Cloverfield Lane or Paradox will show up. But because it's multiverse, they can easily retcon people who died in previous movies coming back. So we might get John Badman back, but I don't think they're going to spend too much money on their cast. So
I would accept whatever convoluted multiverse explanation they can come up with for Mary Elizabeth Winstead to be in another Cloverfield movie.
Maybe they can confirm she's Marlena's sister. Like everyone thought. Also, I'm thinking that he might fight another monster at some point, because when that movie was first announced, J.J. Abrams was like, oh, I want to make Cloverfield like America's monster. And he's got to fight something at some point. So I think he's either going to fight another monster or the aliens from 10 Cloverfield Lane.
It would be pretty cool to see him swatting a bunch of the biological ships you see at the end of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I also want them to release a new toy, because the current toy, if you look on eBay, costs 3 times the amount that I pay for rent. So, would like a new one.
Yeah, Titano, can you bring up how much the Cloverfield toy is going for on eBay right now?
KeyJX says, my final text, have you seen Sesame Street Cloverfield? If you've seen it, that was terrifying. I have not seen Sesame Street Cloverfield. Oh, was that Groverfield? I know that was a meme when people were like, oh, it's Grover.
I saw it, it's a Grover, it's huge.
God. Imagine if it was a lion.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Woo!
So that's like 1.5 times my rent, but the mint in box one is 3 times my rent. And that doesn't count my utilities.
£1,021 in equivalent there. That is... Ooh.
I think they only made 400 of these.
Oh.
That would explain a lot.
But I know when they came out, they were $200.
Oh, yeah. Someone mentioned it in the chat. I didn't put it in the PowerPoint, but G-Fest has been canceled this year. They didn't beat around the bush this time.
We didn't have to guilt trip them for several months.
Okay, next slide.
There was a question that someone had, but I forget what it was, unfortunately. So sorry.
So then we have this film for your dose of obscure monster action. This is War of the God Monsters from South Korea. It is a very curious film in that all of the monsters are from Tsuburaya Productions' Rogues Gallery, represented entirely through stock footage.
I do have a funny story about why this was a lost film for a while, if we're still going over the news about it, like release dates.
Yes, and I still don't know where you got that information, because there's practically no information on this movie anywhere online.
When it had a page on the Lost Media wiki before it got deleted, it was there.
Gotcha.
So what happened to it was basically, so like King of the Monsters and Half Human and a bunch of other movies that were released here, and it added extra scenes. They licensed footage from Tsuburaya to stick into the movie. Toho did that a lot and was notably kind of messed up over it because they would buy the footage as stock footage and just cut off the opening and closing credits and make new footage and then wouldn't pay Toho their full fee. But Tsuburaya was smart and they were like, you get to use this amount of footage. And this movie used too much. And that's why it was lost, because there was a legal battle where Tsuburaya was like, no, you have to pay us more money now.
Something especially notable is that these aren't obscure monsters either. They are especially famous ones that are well known and sort of among the most loved in the franchise. So we have Bemstar, we have Veracron, we have Simons and Sigurath. It just goes on and on.
Oh yeah, I remember the question someone asked. When we're done talking about this, I'll answer it.
Yeah, there is some original monster footage in this, in the form of some extremely unconvincing feet. That seems to be it, though, with the caveat that I have never seen this movie in its entirety.
Yeah, for a long time, there was only like this 5-minute clip online.
Yeah. So
we also have a trailer to show right after this.
Biollante is controlling the stream to everyone who's asking. So
he controls the horizontal and the vertical. Yes, this will be on Blu-ray. It's also being released on VHS if you want to pay $25 or so for a VHS in 2021.
I mean, I gave it to
Still have a
Charlie
VHS
when
player.
Tourist Trap came out, so I'll do it for this one.
Yes, we tricked you into watching a YouTube video inside of your YouTube video.
So you can watch while you watch.
Bring up the exhibit picture, Biollante. Show them on screen. This is not working out. Y'all just open a new tab. It's gonna be okay.
Rise of the God Monsters. Do they not even have the title right?
This is the
No.
Gualala thing over and over again.
It was originally titled The Flying Monster in South Korea, which is admittedly an extremely bad title because there are quite a lot of monsters and I think only one of them flies.
Yeah, but it's being released as War of the God Monsters, and that trailer said Rise of the God Monsters. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's SRS for you. It took us about 2 hours to figure out what the full title of Raiga vs. Oga should be on the site.
Yeah. So the question someone had asked is, how is Gorath canon to the Kiryu saga? It's not really. The only part of Gorath that's canon is Maguma, and the events of Gorath are set in like 1980 or somewhere around there. They placed the events of Maguma attacking in 1963, the year the movie came out. So it's best to look at it that the movie's not really canon. It's just Maguma attacked in 1963 in the Kiryu Saga universe.
That 10-minute scene is canon.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Also, Les is informing me over Discord that The Flying Monster was the international title. It was called The Undead Beast in South Korea, which, depending on the content of the movie... Yes, depending on the content of the movie, that may make even less sense.
It was called Monster Eggs at some point on the YouTube video of that's like 5 minutes. it was called Monster Eggs there. So it might be some other weird title. So
right, should we talk about what's on the slide? Yes. Yeah. Toho is continuing in its slow and somewhat awkward way to broaden Godzilla's online presence. So they have launched a YouTube channel with all of 2 videos on it, a trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, and a subtitled trailer for the original Godzilla.
Yeah. We've got quite a bit of catching up to do compared to Tsuburaya Productions, who are now literally uploading full episodes every now and then. But yeah, hopefully it will grow into something big over time, so you never know.
They should upload dubbed episodes of Green Man. They should commission an international dub.
Specifically from us.
We will dub it. We will dub it for them.
Someone tweet at poorly aged things. Put it on there.
Yeah,
I am hoping for Godzilla subtitles because the show's been going on for a while, and they sort of tried having a dub. They tried having subtitles, but gave up on it fairly quickly. And even though the show is pretty simple plot-wise, I would like to know exactly what it is they're saying.
Yeah, and they're very well aware of the English-speaking market for Godzilla. They're very well aware that there's a large English-speaking audience for that because they respond to English-speaking accounts on Twitter, and they obviously attempted the dub and subtitles. So I think that there's definitely a demand for English subtitled episodes of Godzilla.
They also seem to be starting a slow rollout of the Godzilla film soundtracks on Spotify. Unfortunately, they're all in Japanese, so good luck finding them.
Just gotta copy and paste.
Basically.
So basically, if you want your fix of classic Godzilla soundtracks while you're going for a walk or doing whatever you do, there you go. Just make sure you, when you do find it, save it, or make sure you find an easier way to get back to it, because otherwise it's copy and paste all the way.
God, it's gonna be like when I was 10, when I would put on the 1954 soundtrack and just do the Godzilla walk in my room.
Someone, Dubious Stranger asks, they revealed a Biollante puppet. Yes, they did. Their Biollante was one of the most requested monsters to appear in season 3 of Godzilla, and they completed a puppet and have released pictures of it. It's very detailed, so you can look forward to Biollante being in the next season.
I really hope they make her Godzilla's sister.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Gojiren returns.
God.
Okay, next slide. Oh, all right.
Oh,
yes.
Here's some pictures of the Biollante puppet.
That is an incredible puppet.
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Shin OG one is really impressive too, but this one's pretty nice.
Do we have any idea who she's going to be voiced by?
We don't even know who most of the monsters who appeared on the show were voiced by.
They're voiced by Hideaki Anno in a room.
Wouldn't surprise me, honestly. That sounds like something
over his computer microphone with a blanket over him.
And yes, meanwhile, while all these wonderful developments are happening, a certain Giant Turtles franchise is still languishing in the dust.
We can always just watch the 2016 trailer over and over.
If you watch it enough times, it's a feature-length film.
Or we can watch Gamera Forever, now on archive.org.
We will never know what the monster with the tentacles is ever going to be called.
Fred.
All right. Move the page. It's called Fred now.
We say it. We say
All
that's
right.
its name, so therefore that's what it is. Ultra Wiki logic.
So
they can't stop me.
the Gamera slide was supposed to be the end of this, but Kaiju news continued happening as we were getting ready to go live. After many years of waiting, Warner Bros. Is finally releasing Godzilla 2014 on 4K Blu-ray, and we dearly hope that it will be a bit easier to see this time.
New transfer, please.
But one concerning thing is that the Blu-ray disc, which you can see on the left there, looks to be the exact same. So the Blu-ray probably is not going to be any brighter.
I mean, what if they just didn't want to hire a new graphic designer?
I'm just not optimistic.
Yeah. I personally have never had any problems seeing Godzilla 2014, except for when I was in college and I went to an outdoor showing of it. It was pitch black and everyone walked out. That was not a good moment. Yeah, that was not a good moment. But as far as like me owning the Blu-ray, I guess my setup is in such a way that I've never had trouble seeing it, but it'll be nice if they do finally give us a new transfer so that other people who have this problem don't have it anymore.
The biggest problem I had was when I was doing the SFX shot for Michael's Godzilla vs. Kong fan trailer on April Fool's Day like a year or two ago, and I was masking Godzilla, and it's just like he just looks like a big like shadow.
Yeah, all of the movie footage you see on this channel is color corrected in some way, but correct me if I'm wrong, Titano. Godzilla 2014 needs to be color corrected way more than anything else.
Cringe Baby 2 asks if we know if GVK will be in the UK on streaming service.
His name is Cringe Baby.
Yeah,
Cringe Baby
I would
2,
say
implying there is a Cringe Baby 1, but yes, we don't know for sure. Movie theaters are still going to be shut because of the lockdown over here in the UK, but there is a possibility it may be released on demand or to a streaming service. Hopefully,
you know,
it'll be released whenever the cinemas reopen. So, yeah.
But do you know what happened with Wonder Woman 1984 in the UK? Do you know if it saw any kind of release?
I believe that went to like streaming services like Sky Q or things like that. Let me look that up. Hang on.
Well, then since this is also a Warner Brothers feature, I imagine something similar will happen with Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay, so it looks like it went premium. Oh, okay.
A VPN sponsor us so we can push how to watch it to the UK.
So it looks like it was premium video on demand, but it did not go up on December 25th. So your UK fans, you're gonna have to take a break from the internet at the start of April, end of March.
Or just watch the Americans. I mean, we don't got that much great to say. Just block us.
Well, hey, it'll make a change from us having to constantly use VPNs to switch to the USA to watch stuff, so...
The other news that broke maybe 10 minutes before we went live is that Son of Kong has gone up on HBO Max. It's the direct sequel to the original King Kong, made on rushed into production money and frankly creative drive. In other words, it's exactly like Godzilla Raids again. Go watch it.
Yeah,
and we'll never know like the effects work he did because of just terrible things that happened during that production that made Willis O'Brien never want to talk about it again.
Yeah, coincidentally, go ahead.
Everyone check Twitter to see if news dropped while we were doing this.
Yeah, I'm looking. Some stuff about Nezra in 1964, but
someone posted
hold on.
Picture of the
new Godzilla collaboration, Godzilla X Uta Hiroba. I don't know what that is. It seems to be some kind of restaurant, but they're doing a collaboration where they've got Godzilla-themed food containers and Godzilla-themed mugs, and yeah, exciting stuff.
When will there be a VPN but for snacks? I didn't find any news, but I found this image on Twitter as soon as I opened it, so I don't know. That might be worth showing.
Okay, and Toho Kingdom is reporting that Godzilla-themed junk food is coming to FYE.
Shame, because my FYE closed down. I would totally buy that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drive to Buffalo.
I would have to go to a mall and get a disease.
I might as well bring this up. This didn't happen this week, but the news on it did drop this week. A new species of spider has recently been discovered called Cytodes kumonga, and for quite obvious reasons, it is named after Kumonga. The interesting thing about this spider is it is an example of a spitting spider, and these hunt by literally shooting silk from their mouth. They spit it at targets, and because it shoots it from, obviously from its mouth, the people who discovered it decided, yeah, that reminds me of Kumonga, and so, you know, they've named it after Kumonga. It is native to Iran, and yeah, so we actually now have an official living species as well, which is named after a giant monster instead of just Gojirasaurus. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Kumonga is cool. You should all like Kumonga. It's incorrect.
Please don't ask us when we're.
Yeah, when we're doing.
Ask us when we're doing a profile on him, please.
Yeah, someone already asked. Someone, and it was Cringe Baby 2. He already asked.
Cringe Baby 2, I'm watching you. I see.
Well, I'm glad it was you.
Absolutely, you're the guy. You're on the ball, Cringe Baby 2.
When's Cringe Baby 2 gonna get to narrate a profile?
And
yeah,
what's the point? Where's Cringe Baby 1?
Yeah, gotta answer that question.
All right, I think we're about wrapped up. We're down to Godzilla fast food tie-ins.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, that made me hungry.
Pretty good.
I've never seen French fries arranged like a pyramid before.
I've heard bad things about what Japanese fast food is like, but that looks pretty good. I mean, at least for an American, it's probably not very good, but I'm sure it's fine.
I just heard it's small, and I haven't heard anything else about it.
I remember reading a review probably on Toho Kingdom about one of the Godzilla fast food collaborations, and they did not have good things to say about the food, but...
Toho Kingdom gave something a bad review? I don't believe you.
Yeah. So, does anyone have any questions? I'm looking through the chat to see if there's anything that we can answer. I don't really see.
Kaiju profile of IRL Gojirasaurus and Kumonga Spider.
But they're not kaiju.
If you harass Bill Nye and he reaches out to us, we will.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I thought I'd also mention this because I saw this very, very early on in the chat, but I figured that I'd wait until now when things were out of the way to discuss it. But I noticed in the last Kaiju profile I narrated that a lot of people were pointing out that my voice had grown deeper. The reason for this is I'm on testosterone supplements. I'm on replacement therapy, which is actually helping me grow. May not sound like it, but I am actually almost 25. So yeah.
Someone said, "Why did my wife leave me?"
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That's a good question. I don't know if we're qualified to answer that.
We're really not.
Who knows for sure?
DM me on Twitter, and I might be able to help you. Someone asked what all of our favorite kaijus are. So, since I have the one that's going to make the most people upset, mine is Zilla. So,
I love Zilla, but he's not my favorite. Mine's Mecha Godzilla.
If it has to be If it has to be not Godzilla, then it would be Anguilas. Or whatever pronunciation you would like to go with.
The Anguinus.
Probably Showa Mechagodzilla, but if you want a less famous, a less sort of well-loved monster from the mainline series, it'll be Mogira. And obscure monster, I'll just throw one out here, Liquid Toad.
Oh my god.
It is Dad, Big Boss. Someone asked, is Biollante Godzilla's stepsister?
I don't want to know why you're asking that.
So there's two ways of looking at it. So you can either do what I think and imagine Space Godzilla and Biollante are his brother and sister, or you take, oh, they're made from his DNA, and be like, no, they're also his children. There are two ways you can look at that. They're related to him no matter what. I don't know what you're asking.
Yeah, I just say that they're like clones. They are him. It's really weird. I just call them clones. But they do compare Godzilla and Biollante to brother and sister in the movie. They say something. Shirogami says they're more than brother and sister. They are the same creature. So
People are asking about our Discord server. We do have a Discord server. Is that like for the public or?
No.
Nope.
Very selective. We're all very privileged to have access to that server.
Where you can see me post Scott Steiner math memes.
Someone asked, what do you guys look forward to in the sequel to Shin Godzilla? I look forward to there being a sequel because there's no confirmation that there is a sequel to Shin Godzilla. And in fact, I think there will not be. But I would definitely look forward to one.
Garasharp says, Gogola, please. If we had enough information on it, yeah. I mean, we've already covered the film in our unreleased Kaiju video, so if you're looking for it, check that out. We've got a section on it there.
That's about all the information we have on it.
If you guys send the movie to us. So if Godzilla's sister is a plant, his brother is a crystal, what are the parents? I don't know. I had a joke and then I lost it.
Someone asks, what is the update on Shin Ghidorah? There is no update on Shin Ghidorah. Shin Ghidorah was just in that Evangelion ride. It was a design created specifically for that ride, and that's probably the only time we're ever going to see it.
People are asking when we're going to add Monsterverse Mechagodzilla. We'll add when that movie comes out, because technically it's a spoiler, so...
Yeah.
I thought I would clarify my statement recently where I was saying that I'm taking supplements. I am not trans. I am fully cis. I am fully straight. It just so happens that due to some half genetic, half sort of biochemical, whatchamacallits, I'm not growing as fast as I should. So I'm receiving growth hormone, essentially to boost growth hormone and testosterone, basically to boost my natural growth and actually make me into an adult male, which I am. So, yeah.
So we're getting a lot of requests to do a Gauss profile, specifically Showa Gauss. If we do a Gauss profile, it's going to be on all of them, probably.
Yeah,
it will be extremely long.
Yeah, it'll be a very long video, but we might do Gauss one day. I would love to do that because Gauss is one of my favorite monsters, but it's not in the cards right now, but definitely don't rule it out.
Most of our schedule this year will be dedicated to the Monsterverse.
Yeah.
And if there's some singular point lore, maybe that too.
Atomic Ninja Zoo Ranger says, I have a question. What's your question, friend?
What are the chances of getting Tsuburaya at the end credits of Godzilla vs. Kong? You know, I would like that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if there's any end credits, it's going to set up more Kong stuff because they're still working out deals with Toho still. So, people are asking, what the hell is Cloverfield? Cloverfield was a movie advertised when 2007 Transformers came out without a title, called 11808. And no one knew what it was, and it didn't show the monster until the movie came out. And that was pretty much the whole marketing thing. It's a found footage movie. I saw it 15 times when it came out.
When will there be a kaiju profile over Grape Ape?
I mean, he has a pretty long history too. We would have to. I mean, we already got like a copyright claim from Warner Brothers once, didn't we? I don't know if we can show Scooby-Doo Guess Who, the episode where he meets Wanda Sykes and Grape Ape shows up. I don't think
so much lore I'm not aware of.
We should also have to cover the episode where he meets Macklemore, even though there's no Grape Ape in that, just because it's weird.
Someone asked, what was the what have they said anything on what the live action Godzilla plans are after 2020? No, all we know is that they can't do another live action movie until Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. So we're not going to hear anything. We're not going to hear anything probably until after that movie's out. So no,
okay. Every single question I'm seeing on the screen right now is what kaiju profiles we're doing. So I think it's time to end the screen.
There was one that I thought was an interesting question of how many people are on Wikizilla's staff. So
drop the link.
Like counting frequent guests, I would say 11.
Yeah, it's a different answer if you're talking about the site or the channel.
Yeah, technically anyone can be part of our staff.
That's an interesting question. Jaden Riker Briones says, imagine what would happen if Operation Yashiori failed to stop Godzilla and he continued to evolve. Well, for one, he'd get nuked. The Americans were going to shoot the bomb at the city, so he would have been nuked.
And nuking Godzilla has always been a notoriously bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think it's safe to say that if the nuke was effective in blowing him up, it would scatter him into millions of pieces, and all of those would start regenerating and evolving. I think it'd be a very bad idea.
We'd potentially have Form 5, but it would probably be different in this way because, you know, the selection pressure, as you would call it, would be the nuke. So, rather than being frozen. So.
People are also asking about a Showa Godzilla Kaiju profile. If we ever do that, and believe me, we've talked about it, it's going to be one of our biggest projects ever, and probably have a lot of narrators. So
14 movies.
Yeah, it would be a long.
It's going to be a bit daunting.
Yeah, it would definitely be our biggest video ever. Maybe for a special milestone or anniversary, we'll do something like that.
So there's two questions that I want to cover. The first one is, what are the creatures on Shin Godzilla's tail? So I believe, as we said in the profile, it was him adapting again, as in Godzilla was going to be defeated by a committee, he was going to become a committee. So we call them Godzilloids. I don't know if they have a real name.
No.
Their real name is just Godzilla 5th Form. That's the only name that's been given for them.
Someone asked also if, because this is a pervasive rumor, and I want to just talk about it. People being like, is Destroy All Monsters coming out in 2022? That's just a fan idea. There's been no talk about that. Even then,
they would have to.
What, we have 5 monsters? We have Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah, Kong. We could bring back the Mutos and the other ones, but Destroy All Monsters, we need at least 11 of the big name ones.
Well, there's all the Titans that we haven't actually seen the designs for.
Yeah.
Logan Gutierrez says, wait, has there been news about a new Cloverfield movie? Best thing I can do here is hit the like button, and when the stream is over, backtrack a little bit, or you can backtrack right now if you want, because we've covered that earlier in the stream. So yes, there is a direct Cloverfield sequel coming out, and it is going to drop found footage and be shot traditionally.
Someone asked if we can remake the Anguirus Kaiju profile because we made pages for each Anguirus. We don't really need to do that because the Anguirus Kaiju profile already covers all the incarnations up to 2004. So then, no, we're not going to be remaking that video unless Singular Point has a lot of Anguirus has a big role in there. We might make a separate video for him, but no, we don't have any plans to remake Anguirus.
Someone asked if we think Gamera could be in the Monsterverse. I don't know how protective Katakawa is of him. Like, they clearly don't care about him as an IP, but they also care enough that they won't allow Gamera 4 to get a home release. So I don't know if they're even thinking of something, or if someone can just wave enough money in front of them and just be like, yeah, it'll come out.
Someone says, surprisingly, Zilla is it. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Someone has asked a couple times, is Godzilla vs. Kong the last Godzilla Kong movie? It's going to be it's possibly the last in the Monsterverse, but we don't know that. But I guarantee you, even if the Monsterverse ends, there's going to be more Godzilla and Kong movies. So,
like, Skull Island the anime is going to continue after that. So I think if anything, like, we're going to get more Kong stuff. I don't know if we're going to get more Godzilla stuff, because I think they have like a more favorable deal with Kong, but they got to kind of negotiate with Toho each time for Godzilla.
Yeah. But yes, go ahead.
This question: do we know why Nozuki was changed to Warbat?
No, and it's a terrible decision, frankly.
Yep, the original name was pretty cool. Godzilla in a Scarf Productions says, when are you going to make the highly requested Mr. Taco profile?
I'm surprised we haven't done that already. I'm surprised we haven't done that already.
I am sick of Godzilla.
So someone asked if we're going to do any like videos on Super Sentai or Power Rangers. No, but frequent contributor Kyoto Aikino does videos on Power Rangers. Maybe you should check out their stuff.
Absolutely.
Very good.
They are very good at what they do, and I highly recommend you check out their content.
Would the comic Godzillas get profiles? We're still working out getting pages for the comic Godzillas. But if maybe one day it'd be cool to do a Marvel Godzilla or IDW Godzilla profile, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that.
All still images. It wouldn't be a very interesting video.
There's that one YouTuber who did like little motion comic things. If we want to like shell out to commission them, maybe.
Blue 5 standing by says, if you had to choose, would you rather have the Monsterverse continue or have Showa kick off a new series?
You mean like a new Toho series in the Showa style?
I think that's what they mean.
I mean, I honestly would love to see more stuff in the Showa style. Like, that wasn't actually my Cloverfield notes of what I wanted, because I like when they give the monsters like really human personalities. Because I want like Clover to reunite with his parents at the end of his movies. Oh, they meant Toho. So, like, Toho in general doing another series. I don't know what they do. Like, I know there was that rumor of them doing solo movies, but I think that was proven that was a mistranslation. So I don't know. It's the monster we know versus the monster we don't. So.
Let me see. So far, doesn't seem like there's any new questions I see. Oh yeah, here's a good one.
I'm gonna sign off right now.
Okay. Nessie asks, I have a question. I really liked your timeline explanation video, and I just want to know if you guys have plans on remaking it. Yes, totally. I don't know when, but more information has come to light about the Godzilla timeline, and we will definitely remake that to reflect all the new information and provide a lot more sources. But yes, that video you can expect to see a remake someday.
Someone asked about if we're ever going to do video game profile. We did Bagan, so, you know, Maybe we'll get to Crystal Lake and Obsidious one day.
Yep.
Buddha from Great Buddha Arrival a kaiju, or no? Is it a I would be careful to call him either, because he is a religious figure in Great Buddha Arrival. It's in the same way I don't call Hanuman a kaiju or a kaijin, because they are more a religious figure, if anything.
Titanosaurus or Biollante remake win? In the future. Biollante's profile is in the works. I don't know when it's going to come out. I don't think it's on our timetable this year, but yes, Biollante will be remade, and Titanosaurus probably as well.
Someone asked if we're going to do more misconceptions. I don't know if there are any big misconceptions.
Actually,
That's covered them.
I actually have a script for that completed, but it's more of an FAQ, a Godzilla FAQ, more than it is misconceptions. But yeah, we do have another script for that. I don't know if we're ever going to use it. We might. So yeah, possibly. Rampage crew kaiju profile. I would love to do that. I don't know if we'll ever have time for it, though.
Yeah, it's like there's only so much time in a year. Who would win, Godzilla or Ultraman?
Depends on which Ultraman we're talking about, because there are tens of them, and all of them have like unique abilities. Some stronger than others, and again, not many Godzillas too. So with different powers. So specify.
Man, the plan. Oh, go ahead.
So, I'm just saying, according to Cringe Baby, the TikTok Godzilla community, a thing that apparently exists, has many Godzilla misconceptions.
Yeah. Man, the plan asks when we're going to take a look at, updated look at the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah time travel. Probably whenever we do a remake of the timeline. But to give you a brief recap, basically what we said about the timeline wasn't exactly true. There is still branching timelines because we found the official theater program. But the gist of Godzilla, the Futurians still created Godzilla, is still true. It's just that there's two branching timelines.
Someone asked if we're ever going to get two non-Toho Daiei, or like kind of like the off like Yangiri Pulgasari kaiju. Maybe one day. I don't think we could touch Pulgasari at all, because the story behind that film is kind of like it's kind of like really charged. So we probably won't want to talk about that one. Yangiri maybe at some point, but not anytime soon.
I would love to cover a Guilala kaiju profile, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we would love to do stuff like we would love to do more Gamera stuff in the future. So I would say that expect more Gamera before you expect stuff like Yongari and Guilala and stuff like that.
Dragonist Prime says, do you think they could kill off Godzilla for GVK in order to write him out of future Monsterverse films? So there's actually a thing in how Toho signs its contracts. They're not allowed to kill off Godzilla unless they have a baby.
Yeah, unless he's going to live on in some capacity, is pretty much it. Like, that's how they've operated themselves, because in Godzilla vs. Destroya, when Godzilla dies, Junior becomes the next Godzilla. In Godzilla 1998, where they did kill off Godzilla, they had the egg. So I think that they can't kill Godzilla off, but like Humble Squid said, if they were to have a baby Godzilla be established, maybe, but I don't see it happening.
Are we ever going to touch Hanna-Barbera Godzilla? Maybe one day, not anytime soon. Probably around the same time we would get to do one on Marvel Godzilla, but, you know, not anytime soon.
Do you think 2021 Godzilla is actually Mechagodzilla in disguise? No, I do not think so. I think
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
There was a theory on the last stream someone presented, because the bad guys from the last movie got the Orca. If they're using that to make Godzilla freak out, I think that is the most likely thing. And Mecha G is going to be for something else. Something else is happening. People keep asking about Ultra Profile, so I'm literally just going to explain why we can't do Ultra Profiles. These is a television series. Like, if you recall our Zone Fighter profile, we say just for that whole series, like, we have to only recap the first episode because of how much there is. Because, like, imagine, like, a movie. Like, if we do a Biollante one, that's a video that's, like, 10, 12 minutes for one movie and, like, extra stuff. For a series that runs 26 episodes, each 30 minutes, that's, like, 13 hours.
Yeah.
So, and then, like, Gamora, who appears in every series, he's, like, that's going to be, like, upwards of hundreds of hours of stuff. So that's, like, it's literally impossible outside of, like, if we just did, like, an overview of really short, being like, oh, this is what he does, here's his abilities, and that's it for one specific era. And even then, the people over at Ultraman Wiki, really cool people. We don't want to really step on their toes if they ever want to do a YouTube channel too. So there's plenty of reasons why we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I think the number one thing which really sums it up is the Ultraman series has the world record for the longest continuous franchise in terms of sheer number of installments. It's on the list. If it is not in first place, it's on the list. So really, it would be a project that would just be too large for us, as said before. So, yeah.
Someone asked if we know anything about the stats for the Marvel or IDW Godzilla. Marvel Godzilla is notoriously inconsistent in terms of how he's scaled, and we have never gotten an official stat for him. So no, we have no idea how big Marvel Godzilla is. IDW Godzilla, I believe Matt Frank mentioned at some point that he was in the 100 meter scale, so he's probably about 100 meters. And another question is, why is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2? That's because Toho apparently doesn't like English titles for two movies being the same, because both that movie and the original are just Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in Japan, and for the US, for internationally, they just didn't want them to have the same title, so they stuck a 2 at the end of it, even though it's not a sequel. So that's why. It's
not even the second Mechagodzilla movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So someone asked why I was boring earlier, and my answer is, I don't know. Watch my Limp Bizkit video essay. Hate me there.
Will the Matango profile be possible? Absolutely. I don't think that's in the near future, but I'd love to cover Matango.
Someone with a verified tick shown up here. That's a solid video essay, brother.
I don't know if someone saw my Limp Bizkit video essay.
Is there a plan for making profiles of Toho's Toku heroes? I know Les would love to do Godman and Green Man, and maybe Zone Fighter. I don't know, maybe, but don't count on it. Iris or Legion profile, though? I'd love to do those, too. I would say that those are possible if we get into more Gamera, but they're not on the immediate timetable.
If we can do we're not going to do just the 1957 Mogura. If it's Mogura, it's going to be all of him.
Yeah, we do have a script in progress for both Mogueras, so yeah, very possible.
Why do you think Toho added Gabra at a singular point? Probably because they heard criticism when about like them only using the big four in everything around the time the anime came out, and they're like, oh, we got to use someone different.
And so now they've definitely delivered. They've brought not just the big four, but tons of others. So, yeah.
Someone asked, has the adult Godzilla Jr. appeared in any media since his since Godzilla vs. Destroya? No, that storyline has never been continued.
You can close your eyes and pretend the one in Godzilla Island is, but it's not.
because then that would have to conveniently ignore the fact that Godzilla Jr. is there, but he's brown and has massive eyes for some reason.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the storyline from the Heisei series has never been picked up. I don't think it ever will be. If it is, it's going to be in a comic or something, or a manga, but not in a movie.
We wouldn't do Gabra for an April Fool's joke. An April Fool's joke is generally something more loose, something we would never do. Like, Gabra, like, despite everything about Gabra, he's cool. If it was an April Fool's joke, it would be on the bully, Gabra, and not the monster at all.
Add to the fact that he's actually had multiple appearances as well, which doesn't really fit with most of our April Fool's Day subjects, which tend to just be one-hit wonders, so...
Yeah, we'll definitely, when we do Gabra, it'll be after Singular Point, so we have some more to talk about. Could you do Skullcrawler? That would be a profile I'd be interested in doing, but again, I don't know.
Wouldn't it be possible to detect the Orca's signal? I guess referring to the theory I mentioned earlier. I mean, both of them got broke, right? Except, like, the bad guys had one, and then the other one got melted when Godzilla existed.
Let's see. When his Gabra appeared outside of Godzilla's Revenge, he was in Godman and Green Man, and he was also in Godzilla Monster Apocalypse, and he's also going to be in Singular Point.
He was also in a lost television show. Let's look that up. Hang on, just to make sure what I know the title is. Okay, that's not actually showing up. He was in a separate television show, or he made an appearance in a television show which is now lost. I forget what the title is, though.
What profiles might we be seeing soon? Monsterverse. Let's just say that. Monsterverse.
Les answered, it's the Chibico special that's lost.
Chibico special.
I probably butchered that pronunciation. Someone asked what our hopes for Singular Point are. Like, it's pretty, like, I have specific monsters I would be like, oh, I'd love for them to show up, but, you know. I'm just gonna rile the chat up again by mentioning Zilla.
Like, I unironically love Zilla as his own monster. Like, as a member of the Toho's Kaiju gallery, I think that he's totally legitimate as his own monster, and I think Rulers of Earth actually did him justice as a character. So I'd love to see more Zilla as well.
Someone asked about Otachi, which is an interesting question, because he's not really a kaiju as much as he is mythological, and I think if we did a profile on him, we would have to touch a lot on mythology, and a lot of it would be trivia, like mentioning how Ghidorah in GMK is an adolescent Otachi and stuff like that.
Oh, you're thinking of Orochi.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Otachi is the bat kaiju from Pacific Rim.
Oh, it's been forever since I've seen that movie. Whoops.
But no, we're probably not going to be doing Pacific Rim profiles, at least not for a very long time. So, no, no Otachi. Do a video about that.
How do we decide who narrates a profile? Well, if someone has a specific emotional connection to one, we request in the chat to do that. Otherwise, it's just like we all just say in chat, like, "Oh, I can do it," or stuff like that. Like, we have some profiles, not profiles, but videos that are coming up where we have some people who are kind of experts on a certain subject getting to voice certain things. So look forward to that.
Yeah. Also, you have a Discord server. We do, but it's private and invite only. And so sorry about that. Let's see.
Can other members of Wikizilla narrate kaiju profiles besides staff? Well, I mean, we have guest voices all the time, so Like, it looked back at Gara and Sanda. Daphne isn't on the staff, but she did a great job in that.
Yep. Let's see. Will we be able to do Kumunga? Yeah, Kumunga could definitely happen at some time. Makarus and Kumunga profile. Maybe we do them together. I'm not sure. Let's see. Will you guys ever do more stuff similar to our video on the Godzilla Netflix trilogy prequel books? If there's ever anything similar to that, yeah, we do a video on it. But those are kind of a unique case.
If we were, okay, this one's an interesting one for us to answer. If we were to make our like dream Godzilla movie, what would we do?
I feel like I would just have everyone in it. I would use it as an opportunity to get all of my monsters back. It would be like a 5-hour movie with like every monster being explored and lots of like stuff about the mythology of the monsters. And I would probably have them team up against. I would love to do a movie where, or a story in general, where Godzilla and King Ghidorah have to team up. And I would have like someone like Space Godzilla be the threat that has them team up. So that would probably be what I would do. I'd have a big monster roster and have them all in a massive team up at the end against someone like Space Godzilla.
For me, I would probably do a Mothra solo movie, and I would make the bad guy Gabra and do a complete reimagining of him and make him like a tulpa that is formed out of like children's thoughts, and he's like a demon and he's haunting everyone's dreams, and that's what gives him physical form.
That'd be pretty cool. Koopa, do you have any input on that question?
I'm a bit stumped. You know, I think if we were to go for something mad, it would cause no end of headaches, because of course it would draw into the whole the whole Ultra Kaiju thing. An Ultraman and Godzilla crossover would be pretty cool to see, but handling it, you would have to handle it with tact in a way that wouldn't like lead to fanboys arguing. Although I have a feeling that would happen regardless.
So someone asked about Snow Godzilla, which shows up in about a minute of that movie where Hatsune Miku is a mech pilot. So there was a thing I was conceptualizing, and I talked to Titanolante like privately about it, of Godzilla in anime as a video, and I was like, oh, first I'm gonna look at all of Toriyama's stuff, and I was like, oh, I have to look at the manga too. Little did I know, Gamera and several other kaiju show up in every issue of his Dr. Slump manga, so it proved to be too much.
Yeah, needless to say.
Yeah, lots of monsters actually do make quite regular appearances in Toriyama's works. Another famous one would be Baragon, who shows up in the original Dragon Ball in sort of one scene, but bear in mind he's quite detailed in drawing, really. So,
they also imply he was one of the world martial arts champions in that universe too. Yeah.
Toriyama is a big Godzilla and Kaiju fan, is evidenced by how much he includes them. But a fun fact is, we mentioned it on our Twitter, Toriyama had a cameo in The Return of Godzilla as one of the extras that's fleeing from Godzilla in Shibuya, Shinjuku, actually. And supposedly you can see him on the poster. He claims that he can be seen on the poster.
Someone asked what our favorite Godzilla designs are. I'm very partial to Godzilla 2000. I like the purple spines.
Yeah, my favorite is probably Bio Goji / Gedo Goji. Just because I love the Heisei design, and I think that's the best representation of it. It's very intimidating and just majestic. But like Godzilla 2000 would be a close second.
Someone asked do we think Godzilla has the most media appearances? I don't think he has the most media appearances even in the kaiju genre, because Ultraman, so much.
You could argue that the #1 monster who has like any sort of like the #1 monster with any marquee value would be Gamora, of course. Although there was a very long period in the Showa era where he did not show up at all, with the exception of the Chayo film. Since like the latter half of the Heisei era, he has shown up virtually every other series, if not every series. He's shown up in some capacity.
Let's see. Are we going to redo the Space Godzilla video? I guess. Probably.
Has there been any new information since that video? It's been a while since I've
No, I don't think so. Maybe
might
not.
not be a reason to do it. I don't remember any big quality issues with that.
Yeah, it's just a little behind our current setup for videos, but I don't think there's anything severely outdated in it.
Yeah, because it's like, as much as it would be great to go back and update our videos every time we like increase in quality, unless it's like absolutely unwatchable, we can't keep, like, we're going to improve on everything, like, just over time regardless. So like, you know, we can't keep going back, because then we'll never make new profiles.
Yeah, but Biollante and Titanosaurus are sorely in need of updated videos, so yeah, they're going to get remakes at some point, but yeah, like, not every monster is going to get a remake.
Someone asked if we ever considered talking about actors. That would be interesting, but, you know, we'd have to get through all these monsters first, because...
Yeah, I'd love to do profiles on like some of the staff and actors and things like that, going through their filmography. That would be cool, but I don't think that's gonna be something we can get to in a while.
Yeah, if anything, Dr. Serizawa having a character profile would be neat, but like, because Serizawa is like super important to like the whole like lore. But I think, like, you know, if we did like a thing like on a whole actor's filmography, we would have to also like kind of score an interview at G-Fest, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some information that's like, you know, you can't find, and, you know, there's questions that naturally come up in research. So like, it would be neat to like do research and then see if we can talk to one of them at G-Fest, but I don't think that's something that's in the cards, at least for 2021, or as long as a pandemic is happening. What if Mr. Beast appeared in the Kaiju film? He would give them a car,
and then like just throw money at it and hope that it gets enamored by that and walk away.
We doing on Zone Fighter Kaiju. Does Gigan count? Because yes, we have.
If there was a Zone Fighter Kaiju I would cover simply for one detail alone, it would probably be Bulgaris, and simply for his death scene. It's one of the most bizarre of any monster, like, period. Even, like, some Ultra Series Kaiju do not equal the strangeness of the way this monster dies.
So I did editing on that profile when I had, like, a fever. Did one of the Kaiju was just like an ape with a gun? Like, I swear I remember just an ape with a gun.
There was a Doberman with guns for hands as well.
Oh my god!
I think is the name of it.
Someone asked if we're going to rank all the Godzillas based on how powerful we are. We don't get into those kind of debates. Those are purely up to fans.
I refer you to the fantasy battle section on Toho Kingdom.
Yeah, like we don't concern ourselves with who's more powerful. Like, all that matters is that I think Kaiser Ghidorah is canonically supposed to be Godzilla's most powerful enemy, but other than that, it's never really commented on officially. So, no, we're never going to be comparing power levels of different Godzillas or anything.
Someone keeps asking what's the worst kaiju. Should we get into inflammatory opinions now?
I'm going to say something controversial here. I don't really think there is no worst kaiju. I think everyone has their own merits, even the strangest, even the most strange, the most obscure, the most, I guess you could say, the weakest. There's no real criteria for what makes the worst kaiju, but I'd be interested to hear you guys on what your opinions are, so feel free.
I mean, I have a least favorite kaiju, and it's Gabra, but I don't hate Gabra.
Someone called you a hippie Koopa. That's really hard, because like, as much as like I do look at things through like a critical lens all the time, it's hard for me to objectively say I don't like this monster. Like, I haven't found a monster that's like deliberately upsets me, unless like I'm forgetting someone from Power Rangers that was there for one episode and then they never spoke of him again. That would probably be the only thing. Like, and of course all the Power Rangers ones that I'm thinking of are like, no, I like him, like the rapping pumpkin or the one that's just Frankenstein. I like all of those. So like, I don't know.
I suppose if we really want to go with one that's just really obscure, it's like, I don't even dislike them, but I guess it's like in a case of like, what were they doing here? Lord Barbara from Go Green Man. It's, in terms of like suit quality, it's falling to pieces. What happened to this suit? Where did it come from? And why was it already in such horrid condition?
We could, like, I could probably go through a bunch of original Green Man or God Man kaiju and just be like, this one.
Would we ever rank the Godzilla and how good the designs are? You're misunderstanding what the purpose of Wikizilla is. We are, like, as best we can, an objective, like, we can give our opinions on live streams because it's us talking, but Wikizilla in general doesn't take sides. Wikizilla is just an informational resource, so we're not going to be giving opinion videos. The only way you're going to get our opinions is like this, like on live streams, where where the individual staff are talking to you. So no, we are not going to be ranked.
Twitter.com.
Yeah, we all have Twitters.
Yeah, put his memes.
Yeah.
The Mad Mothra says Gabra is pretty lame, but I think he gets too much hate. Yeah, I'd say so. It's... Oh. Yeah, I'd say so.
Someone says Twitter sucks. It does. It's a hellscape that we're trapped in.
Yeah. Would we like to see a Shin Gamera movie? Of course, I would love to see Hideaki Anno's take on Gamera, but we did get him. He did direct a documentary on Gamera about Gamera 3 called Gamera 1999. That's probably the closest we're ever gonna get.
Oh, if anything, I want a U.S. translation of the Gamera versus Barugan manga from in between Gamera 1 and 2. That's what I want. Yeah,
that would be awesome. Because Gamera vs. Barugan is one of my favorite movies, and having a manga that adapts it to the Heisei universe would be pretty awesome.
Tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills when the voice of Vegeta in TFS Abridged wants to do a profile.
Someone asked if the official Godzilla Twitter page acknowledged Godzilla 1998 as an official Godzilla. I mean, yeah, it is. Godzilla 1998 is still legally Godzilla, as we've discussed and as we say on the wiki. He's still legally Godzilla because Toho can't change it, and I don't think they want to anyway. Zilla is just for all future incarnations of that design. They're going to be called.
They're like really picky about what powers he has. They don't even let him do the cyclone breath anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, Toho's official page is not wrong when they call the '98 Godzilla. It's just like if they want that monster to appear in anything else, like a comic or a movie, it's going to be called Zilla. So
yeah, like when you hear me say Zilla, I do mean like 1998, Final Wars, and the series, just because that's the best shorthand for the design. But like, you know, 1998 is Godzilla.
Yeah.
To be fair, if Godzilla 1998 was never made, we probably wouldn't have GVK. I mean, I think 1998 contributed to a lot of people in the Western world now knowing about Godzilla. It wasn't my introduction. My introduction was having a nightmare in the middle of the night, coming downstairs, and my dad was watching Godzilla vs. Ghidorah on HBO. But I know there's plenty of us who's like 1998 is like the first movie.
It was certainly the way a lot of British fans like me got introduced to the franchise, considering that, as mentioned in the Monster Planet video, we didn't exactly have the best luck with kaiju film releases over here. It was my introduction, so...
Best Godzilla comic, that's a tough one. I'd say all of them are definitely IDW entries, though the Marvel Godzilla run is a lot of fun.
Like when I was in middle school, I spent a lot of time going around to comic conventions and collecting as many issues as possible. And of course, now they're all in Baltimore and I'm in Texas, so I don't even have access to them. But
yeah,
you know, the only thing that would I think put Marvel Godzilla over the top, because right now Rulers of Earth is the best one. If Spider-Man actually had any active part in Marvel Godzilla and not just showing up right at the final issue to take a picture of him, I would be like, yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah, for me, as much as I love Marvel Godzilla, I would say IDW's done the best Godzilla stuff. They've also done the worst, but in general, they have very high quality stuff. I would say my 3 favorite Godzilla comics from them are Rulers of Earth, Half Century War, and Cataclysm. So
kaiju comics in general, though, Matt Frank's Red Man, no, it's better than pretty much all of Godzilla's comic output.
Yeah. I need to actually get around to reading that.
I think I need to read it too. I think the thing which makes Red Man so great is the series it's based on has very, very little exposition, which is one of the reasons why the whole portrayal of Red Man as a psychopath is so popular, which, you know, is pretty cool. But yeah, it's an ideal series really to build lore on, because there is no lore essentially. Minus maybe a few paragraphs of information, you can just more or less do what you want with it, and that's why it's really ideal for this sort of project.
Yeah. Someone asked if we've ever met a Godzilla suit actor or any franchise actor or actress. I mean, I got to shake hands with Akira Takarada the first time I went to G-Fest. That's
pretty cool.
So,
the closest I've gotten to any interacting with anyone from the series is a few Twitter interactions where we asked Shinichi Wakasa about Gigan and he responded to us, and also we got Shinji Nishikawa actually retweeted our video about Kiryu, which was really cool. But no, we have not. I have not personally met anyone from the series.
Someone asked if we have a preference of Jurassic Park original dinosaurs or 1998. I'm gonna prefer 1998.
Let's see. Hold on.
Vince Albert Aquino says, "Who's the best kaiju? Please tell me. I want to know." That's subjective.
But the
it's
answer
is
no, the answer is Liquid Toad. No.
Yeah, Skeleturtle. The Skeleturtle joke's a little played out now, so I guess
how
it's
will
time.
Liquid Toad compare against Big Boss, though?
Let's see. What 2 kaiju haven't teamed up that you would like to see team up? For me, I already mentioned it, but I would love to see Godzilla and King Ghidorah have to team up. I'd love to see that. It'd be cool, but I think Toho basically has a stipulation that Godzilla and Ghidorah must always be enemies. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I would love to see those.
is hard to me because the end of Rulers of Earth, it's
Yeah.
except
it's over.
except Kamibis, who's just like, I'm just gonna chill, which, you know.
Yeah, and Kamak just like runs away. Skeleturtle versus Liquid Toad. That's a good, like, to be honest though, Liquid Toad would probably win because it has the power to turn anything else into a liquid organism. So, but yeah. But of course, we all know Skeleturtle has godlike powers and can warp reality, so that probably means it'll win. We need a Godzilla, Kong, and Gamera movie. Yes, we do. I'd love to see all three of them meet, but you know, it's all in Katakawa's court now. Like they're the ones who aren't doing anything with Gamera.
When is Godzilla 0 Hour coming out?
Someone asked who Liquid Toad is, and Les kindly linked our page. Yeah, Liquid Toad's basically a minor monster from the movie The H-Man. So if you haven't seen The H-Man, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. But yeah, check out the Wikizilla page if you want an explanation. Someone did ask earlier if we're going to do a video covering the Godzilla designs. I would personally like a video like that where we kind of go through each Godzilla design, but I feel like that would take for absolutely, like, be a really long video. We'd probably have to break it up by era or something.
Someone asked best Godzilla fan film. Again, highly subjective. I have nostalgia for Deadzilla's Godzilla King of the Monsters, where he makes Zilla actually like a threat. So
yeah, what is a weird Godzilla ship? I mean, I think that all of them are weird, and people are really obsessed with Godzilla and Mothra. But now, possibly due to memes, I'm seeing a lot of Godzilla and Kong. So,
but Kong has to bag it. Those are the rules. Oh, have you not seen that video from Golden?
Which one? The Boggin one? Yeah, I've seen that video.
Like, Boggin will have to kiss Kong. So
yeah, that's a great video.
Johnny plays RBX. What do you think of Godzilla X Mothra? Oh boy.
I think it's pretty stupid. I think that I mean, like, I think if you take it literally, it's really dumb, and I don't take it literally, but I think, like, playfully, like, joking about it, like Michael Dougherty did, and stuff, I think that's, I think it's fun to make fun of, but I don't take it seriously.
So, like, I've seen cute art. Like, I'm not gonna, like, pretend, like, I don't really care for it that much, but, like, you know, like, a lot of Godzilla artists are super talented. So,
yeah.
Like, there's some very cute Godzilla Mothra stuff that I, like, don't realize is ship art until I like it. Someone did ask, like, a totally unrelated question if we like Star Wars, and this might be my most inflammatory opinion. I think Star Wars is good. I think, like, the movies are all technically good. They're all very good. I don't like it. Like, it's like one of those things, like, I wish I cared when I see all this cool stuff happening. I even tried watching The Mandalorian, and I was like, this is really good. I can't care.
Okay. Les and Titanolante are asking us to wrap it up, so I guess that'll be it for our stream today. We hope to do it again soon. Does anyone have any final thoughts?
We've got a lot of interesting stuff on the way, to sum it up, and I imagine we'll probably see even more very soon, so this is probably not going to be the last stream we're going to do like this.
So, yeah. Thank you all for coming. It's always great to interact with our viewers, and we really appreciate the support. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to have you guys all be fans of our videos that we work so hard on. We're really, really grateful that we can reach an audience and that people interact with us. So keep it up. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. We're glad you're here.
Yep. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Farewell.